our history, it's our culture. That's what creates champions. We come at it from all these like 6 or 7 different crucial angles, and we crush each one of them. And that's why champions keep popping out of here. And like Sarah said, they're not all racers that come out of here either. We have champions in all the different types of cycling. Photo journalists, videos, photographers, mechanics, crafters, bike makers. The history of cycling people that come out of Devo is crazy. So anyway, thanks for having us here. Thanks, Toll. Toll's the man, by the way. This guy's a legend. So sweet to have him here.
NFTF! Thank you so much, Sarah and Chad. We really do appreciate you guys. You get out what you put in. There's no doubt about it. As they say, you reap what you sow, and both of those things have been happening at a very, very high level. So just for a moment, look around you right now. This is absolutely amazing. To see this kind of turnout to celebrate a bike racer is something I don't think America ever expected. But Sepp Kuss is much more than just a bike racer. He's certainly changing the entire dynamic of how we look at sport right now. I do want to make sure, I'm sure a lot of folks are wondering, where's Bob Roll today? So 4 or 5 people thought I was Bob Roll at one point. So that being said, Bob really wishes he could be with us here as much as anyone. There are plenty of folks from Durango that can't be here to celebrate this, so I'm glad that you are here for this moment. So we've talked about Durango Devo, and obviously, you know, when you're in this community, what do they call it, the 7 degrees of Kevin Bacon? Well, there's only 1 degree of Sepp Kuss. As if you were to turn to people around you right now, well, that person, her daughter went to school with Sepp, or they skied with Sepp. It's absolutely incredible how connected this community is. And as Chad makes an excellent point about when you look out here and you see these young ladies and young men that have fallen in love with cycling now, you really want to foster those dreams, don't you? You want to see them get out on a bike and have the opportunities that some of us older folks did. And now we really have an opportunity. There's momentum, not just kids in Durango, but kids around America hopefully will want to throw on a red jersey and ride their bike to school and pretend that they're Sepp. And that's how we change this world in a positive way. And I look out here and I see the smiles and I see people in trees. I feel like I'm at a Neil Diamond concert. So you have to be old to get that joke too. So that being said, I've been lucky enough to catch some of, well, we all have been lucky enough watching on Peacock or your hacked VPN feed, but you would certainly have seen this year's Vuelta a España, and the good news is you're in the right place, because Sepp really defined for all of us what the champion standard really is. There's a Finnish construct called sisu, which talks about getting outside and having a good attitude, much exactly what Chad Cheney's life is, to tell you the truth. He should be the poster boy for that. But it's about having fun, supporting your friends, being brave, and taking some risks as well. And that's something that is certainly noteworthy in Sepp's journey. As when Sepp showed up, just a very quick timeline, Sepp showed up as an unheard of road racer. He'd been doing a lot of mountain bike racing around Colorado and the country, but shows up at a race called Redlands Classic, which is in Southern California. He's racing for a team called the Gateway Harley Davidson Squad out of Missouri. It's just such an unlikely team, and but it was an opportunity and a stepping stone. And I think that's really maybe a big part of the Sepp Kuss story, is that it doesn't happen overnight. And if you don't show up day after day, it doesn't happen either. So Sepp decides to give it a go. He attacks on just like Chad was talking about, attacks a little too early, and ends up winning that stage, turning a ton of heads, and getting a contract to ride on one of America's bigger teams. At the time, they're called Rally, and now Human Powered Health. So he rides with them, gets some top 10 results at Tour of California, again, races like Utah. He's just consistently doing the work before he shows up, gets a contract with Jumbo and shows up at the Tour of Utah in 2018 and absolutely demolishes that race. That was one of the most impressive North American stage race performances that we've seen. And that is when Sepp starts cooking with gas as far as being a professional world tour level cyclist goes. Wins a Vuelta stage, wins a Tour de France stage, and now, ladies and gentlemen, it is time to bring out the man that you are here for, the pride of Durango, Colorado. Let me hear you roar for the Eagle of Durango! Greatest moment of my life, Sepp. Champion. Does that work for you, Sepp? I mean, connecting to this community, I've never seen anything like it. As a matter of fact, I'm pretty jaded, Sepp, and I've got goosebumps right now. So, I mean, yeah, the connection is so strong. Talk to me about how it feels to be back and bringing your lovely wife with you as well.
Well, first of all, thank you so much, everyone, for coming. Yeah, small town in Durango, so locals, it's an easy place to get here, Buckley Park. But quick shout out to people that have come from a long ways away. Something that I didn't expect, but it's crazy to see a long line of people all the way out to the end of Buckley Park, and it feels like we're at Iron Horse weekend or something. So yeah, thank you, everyone. But yeah, it feels amazing to be home. Yeah, it's always Durango. It feels really relaxing to be home, and you kind of just settle into normal life, which is really unique in a place like Durango. But it's been an incredible homecoming.
It's your wife's first visit here, I assume, or is it?
No, she's been a few times,
okay.
But it's her first visit during the fall. So I always take her in November and December, and then Durango can't quite show off as much as it is now with this incredible weather and the leaves. But she feels always welcome, and she, coming from Barcelona, she can see all the quirky differences that we have here in Durango. So that's really entertaining and special to share with her.
So this year's Vuelta starts in Barcelona, but before we go there, wanted to get some memories from you. I don't know how emotional it would be for you hearing Sarah and Chad talking. I mean, it has to bring up a lot of good times. And what are your thoughts when you hear them talking about those days, connecting back to Durango Devo? What was your first ride with them?
I think one of my first rides was the story that you mentioned, where I cut my lip on Chad's secret trail, which we knew it at the time. I don't even know what it's called now. Maybe still that. But yeah, just a small group of us going out. Gino and Alicia Pastori, the Blevinses were there. Let's see, who else? Levi was there. Yeah, I'm forgetting a lot of names.
Quite a group.
A really good group, yeah.
To think that a world champion in the short track and the Vuelta España champion happened on the same kids ride. Pretty amazing stuff. I guess when we look at it now, that journey coming from here in Durango, the amount of support that you had. Chad also illustrated just the incredible group around you. Did many of them make it to the Vuelta this year? Did you have anybody you knew from Durango in the crowd? It's hard to tell, I'm sure, but
I had Noemi, who was following the whole race with her family, and then I had my lovely mother there in person in the first two stages, and also in Madrid. And in the meantime, she was doing typical Savina things out on a backpacking trip and out of touch with what was going on in the race, which I think was
That's a
for the
great
best.
story. Yeah, so in the Dolomites, if I'm correct, a 62-week long hike. So she has no idea what's going on. What was her first words to you when she found out that you were winning the Vuelta? How did she connect?
Yeah. The first, let's see, we had brief correspondence every now and then, and we talked on the phone before the time trial, which was a pretty decisive day about halfway through the race, and
pretty decisive.
Yeah, and she wished me luck, and I think she was a bit more nervous than I was, but that gave me the good push for the rest of the race.
So when you rolled out, if you did happen to see the first stage, that was a crazy team time trial. A lot of rain, roads were incredibly slick. At that point, that day, are you just thinking, I'm here to support the team? You're in your third Grand Tour at that point. What was going through your mind as you took that start?
It was an interesting one. The first problem was just to clip into the pedals because we started on the beach and then it was raining and all the sand, and
it was
so I was worried I was going to tip over into the other guys and not be able to clip into my pedals. But it was a bit like a night race, but you're so confident with your teammates, and I trust them a lot more than other guys in the peloton. So it was blind trust, but we made it to the finish.
How long had you been planning on doing 3 Grand Tours in one season? Something that's not unheard of, but extremely rare.
Yeah,
was that all season? Did you know that going into the year?
No, not at all. In the spring there were some injuries, and that led me to start the Giro, and already at that time I was thinking, okay, well, I'm motivated to do the Giro, but I don't want to miss the Vuelta, which is my favorite race, and I also knew that it was important for the team that I do the tour and support there, which I was also motivated for. But then in my head I was thinking, okay, how do I fit it all in? And then the Marijn, the director that was speaking to me at the time, he said, well, it's not out of the question that you do all 3. And I thought, okay, well. And then, it took me maybe the whole year to process that. But in the end, it was all right.
So a lot of folks, and this is a phenomenon that's global at this point, but GC Kuss comes along, and you, at this point, you're starting to get sort of that zeitgeist is coming along. What did you think when you heard about that? That was back in the end of the Tour de France, wasn't it? When you were riding in 8th place, and a lot of folks were saying, look, this guy's a domestique, and here he is in the top 10. Did that put some wind in your sails, just knowing that your great work was being recognized with GC Kuss? What did that mean to you? Do you even know who that person is?
Yeah.
Okay.
He's a student at, I believe, University of Pennsylvania.
Okay.
I don't know.
But you don't know him well. It's not like Levi or somebody. Right.
Yeah, that's the, we live in a more digital age, and there's these hashtags and memes and everything, and people can identify with that a bit more. But yeah, it's
Did it
funny.
make you chuckle? Did you laugh?
It did, yeah. It really aligned with my sense of humor, and you can't make everything too serious, and it's fun when you read Instagram or Twitter or something, and there's some funny stuff, and you got to keep it lighthearted. Yeah.
I mean, it seems like that's one of the great things about you, Sepp, is you bring out the best in people for sure. And let's go back then to the stage that not your first Vuelta stage win, but this year's first Vuelta stage win, and almost like it reminded me of a Norba National mountain bike races. You're like Katarina Nash coming in, right? High-fiving folks. Would you have done that if you had known what was coming in the next week? Or would you have raced for the extra second, maybe, that you would have gotten? They all turned out to matter, didn't they?
No, I mean, I wanted to soak up the victory.
But that's what you're celebrating, right?
Yeah, but I think in the back of my mind, I was also thinking, oh, I don't want to be in the red jersey. That seems like a real chore. I just want to have this. And
well, that backfired.
Yes.
On that, I'm going to stay on the theme of the race right now for everybody. I'm sure, I wish I could ask all of your questions. I'm sure there's a million. But as you move into the final few days, it seemed like the dynamic in the team shifted. But probably the craziest experience that a human being could be involved with would be the dynamics of having 3 superstars on one team in that moment? Are you able to reflect and think that that's going to make a really good book?
Yeah, for sure. I think, overall it was just an unprecedented situation and part of a unprecedented season as well. And I don't
think...
And
you never saw it coming, did you?
No.
Even when you won that stage, you weren't thinking about GC, or were you? When did you first think about GC for yourself?
I think after the stage that I won, I knew that I had a good advantage at the time.
Yeah, it's 3 minutes or something at that point, right?
But I wasn't sure how far my body would go, because it was my third Grand Tour of the year, and it's not that I didn't have confidence in myself, but I tried to keep it realistic, but I think each stage that I was able to hang on to the jersey, I had more and more confidence in myself.
On the most dynamic stage of all, a certain Spaniard athlete didn't seem to be it seemed like a hidden ally. Did we owe him a Christmas card?
Yeah, I owe him beer for life, for sure.
Yeah. What did you? I know this is the question. What did you say when you came across the line?
I just said that I was sorry for
taking a second,
sprinting him at the line, because he deserved
He knew though.
But yeah, well, whether intentionally or unintentionally, it's everybody in the end is that we're all competitors and we all do our best, and I'm sure he was riding his race and not thinking lend a hand to the opposing team, but I think maybe part of him wanted to help me out, and grateful.
Yeah, well, it's back me up here, people. How many hundreds of years have we heard that nice guys don't finish first, right? Sepp, you broke the mold, man. Please tell me this all isn't an act, right? No, we would know, that's for sure. So Sepp, we now, and I did want to, again, one of the great things about being here in America was we had Bob Roll on Peacock, right? And we got to hear your story. But the one story that people felt was undersold was your family. So this is a great time. Let's bring up Sabina and Dolph and the rest of your family. I'm going to turn it over to you. You know them better than anyone. Do you mind being the announcer for a minute? Great. So, Sepp, this is your family. We'll start with your lovely wife.
This is my wife, Noemi, and our poodle, Bimba. And this is my mom, Sabina. Multiple Iron Horse champion. And my dad, Dolph. Good genes and good support system. I think, of course, my mom and dad have been part of the community for a really long time, and over the past few years, with dragging Noemi along after long flights, it's really fun to share Durango with her, and of course all the community, and I think she feels really welcome here. It's a different place than being in Spain or Andorra sometimes, where cycling is really big, and less people. Here it's really a community of people, and it's always just a natural feeling. But with that said, you take it away from me.
Thanks, Sepp. I didn't mean to leave you on the spot. So, thank you so much, everybody, for coming up and joining us. So, we very quickly, I hope that you all are planning on going out for our parade as well. I know you guys planning on going on a parade? Good. That's what I'm looking for. So, with grace and class, I'm asking that if you could all do us a favor and allow Sepp a little bit of space, because this is going to be like Moses parting the Red Sea, trying to get Sepp over to our parade start. So I know that everybody wants to shake a hand and say hello, but if we could just allow Sepp the ability to float over there like a butterfly, that would be awesome. We anticipated a great crowd here, and you exceeded that. So, one, that's a huge win, but along with that is a good problem to have, getting everybody safely out of here. So on behalf of the city of Durango, I'm asking that everyone follows the directions of our awesome volunteers and safety vests. They're here to help you. We don't want to get anybody crushed or anything like that, so please make sure you respect the folks around you as we're rolling out. I think we're going to be in good shape. There's a really nice crowd. No one's going to have any problem, right, Sepp?
No problem. I'll say a few last words here.
Okay, great.
Yeah, first of all, I want to thank the city of Durango, Devo, and Dave Hagen as well for all the work that they put into this.
Yeah, legend, Dave Hagen.
To be honest, it feels a bit like my wedding because I'm nice and relaxed, and then all of a sudden I show up and everything's all taken care of. It's all beautiful. So yeah, thank you so much to all the work that went behind this really great event.
So good trip back to Durango. When are you two heading back to Spain?
Yeah, in a couple of days.
Couple of days,
yeah.
Good. Well, what was the two things that you can't miss when you come to Durango? Do you have to go buy bread, or what's your things while you're here, so all of us can know?
I'm a big bread fan. And my wife is, well, she always said, what's that place on the corner on Florida? Bread, of course,
bread.
yeah.
Yeah, that's the best.
But no, there's too many places.
Yeah. Yeah, well, Sepp, you should never buy another beer in this town. It's on us, right? Beautiful. All right, everybody, one big hand from all of us. Let's roar for the World Cup champion! Never gonna get old. Thank you again, Sepp. We'll see you over at the start of the parade. So, all right, everybody. We really do want to thank all of our volunteers here.